streets, filling up some useless time. And if I'd seen her then and there, I would have asked her to be mine. Something to talk about. Ooh, someone to dream about. I'm going home alone with only trouble on my mind. I've roamed the streets.
Hello, everyone. Happy Saturday. Sorry, I just was hearing myself because I had the stream open, not muted. But we're good now. Anyway, hi, everyone. Welcome in. Happy Saturday. Happy weekend. Happy almost end of March. I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you all. There were people in here a while back. Ben, hello. Lewis, hello. Steve, Yoshi, Tommy. Zin, good to see you. Tim, Sebastian, hello. Welcome in. How are we today? How is everyone? Oh, I am just double checking, making sure that things are good. Things seem to be okay. We're not experiencing dropped frames. And picture, screen, picture, time. Oh, Ella, let's hide you. Got my timer. Yeah, everything's good. Everything's good. Hi, Juice. Good to see you. Hello. Why would we watch a rewatch? Well, I finished all the Star Wars films quite some time ago, and I've been making my way through the TV shows. And I've got a lot more Star Wars knowledge in the brain now, and I haven't rewatched the original trilogy. So in January, we did A New Hope, super fun. February, we did Empire Strikes Back, also super fun. Watching the movies was a completely different experience compared to my first time. And then today we're watching Return of the Jedi. But the thing is, David, if I do it as a live watch along instead of an edited reaction, then people can bring their copies of the movies here with me and we can watch together. And it's just a way to hang out. You don't have to be here if you don't want to be here. You're free to leave. So, but that's to answer your question. Thank you, William. Made myself some breaded chicken strips and cheesy cauliflower, and I'm just hanging. That sounds very delicious. I had lunch a little bit ago. Some people in my Discord community and we've just started watching Gotham. We're watching 2 episodes just about every Saturday that I am able to make it, of course. So we watched 2 episodes this morning. So I had lunch then. We just finished about 40 minutes ago. Quickly got ready for this stream. I've got my coffee still. Life is good. It's a chill Saturday. Although I will admit I'm very tired today. I haven't been getting that much sleep this week, and I'm feeling it today. So I might go to bed early tonight, which I know is like not the vibe on a Saturday, but I don't care. John, hello, good to see you. Master, hello. Is it Master or Ghost? Which one do you prefer? Sometimes I'll just pick out the word of a username that like seems the best to say, but Ghost admittedly sounds cooler than Master, so. But Master's also fine. If that's your preference, just let me know. So anyway, folks, we'll start the movie in about, I'll probably start at 1:30, which is in, obviously, not all of you will be in the 1:30 p.m. time zone, but it's 1:13 for me right now. So I'll start at 1:30 in about 18 minutes or 17 minutes or something. So your choice. Cool. I know I do need my sleep. Yes. It's okay. The problem with me and sleep is that to feel rested every single day, I need like 9-10 hours, which is just it's not always attainable because life is a thing and being awake is a thing and there's work to be done and all that stuff. So yeah, I usually try and get at least 7 every night. And last night I think I slept for like 9 hours, but I'm not feeling rested today. So that's how we're rocking today. Watched Cocaine Bear last night. Not a great movie, but worth it for a couple of scenes. I saw that Real Rejects put out a reaction to that. I was watching someone's video and then I left my desk for a bit. And when I came back, obviously, like if you just leave YouTube up, it'll keep sending you into new videos, right? So then when I got back, I was like halfway through Real Rejects Cocaine Bear reaction, which I obviously didn't watch because I have not seen the movie and I don't watch reactions to movies that I haven't seen. There's only ever been one movie that I have watched a reaction to that I hadn't seen before, and it was Cassie's reaction to Taking Chance. Popcorn in Bed, because I mod for her. So that was one where I was like, I'm probably never going to watch this on my channel, so I'll just watch the reaction. And it was a nice and short movie, so it was a short video. And yeah, but otherwise any reaction she does to something I haven't seen, I'm there at the start to help moderate the chat, and then after that I minimize the video and I don't pay attention to it. So you should watch the final scene with the original score. See, but I don't have access to that, William. I'm watching on Disney Plus, my friend. So the Disney Plus version is the version I am watching, and that has it's the same version I watched for my first time watching. So yeah, I will always. I've had to reply to people in the comments because I've had on my Aliens reaction and Terminator. Well, worse on Aliens, but Terminator 2. People get really, really picky about what version you watch and react to. So I've had to start telling people I am going to watch the version that is most easily accessible to me. If it's through a streaming service I already pay for, then perfect. If it's not on a streaming service, then I will rent it through wherever it is available. But I'm not gonna go digging into torrenting files and all this kind of bullshit to try and get a specific version. So with Terminator 2, I was going to watch, I think it was the special edition of that movie. I think it was the one in between, because there's 3 versions of Terminator 2. There's like the director or the theatrical release, and then there's like 2 other versions. And I was gonna watch the middle one. The only place it was available here in Canada was through the Windows like Movies app. So I purchased it, but then when I went to go record it, my like Windows knew that it was a copyrighted thing and it wouldn't let me record the visuals of the movie. Only the audio came through, and I was like, well, this won't work. So then I ended up going to the theatrical one because that was available in so many places. And then for Aliens, the special edition, director's version, whatever you want to call it, that's not available anywhere here in Canada easily. So I went with the theatrical version. So it's almost, probably most of the time, it's just going to end up being the theatrical version of these movies. Just whatever's easier. People want to get mad at me for it, which a lot of people did on the Aliens reaction, like whatever. Thank you for the hate engagement. It helps boost the video. Hey Wayne, it's going good. How are you? There are clips of the original version free on YouTube for just that scene. Yeah, I think I've watched it actually. I think I looked it up. I did look it up like shortly after watching Return of the Jedi the first time, just to watch like that one scene. So yeah, Juice, the second one has 3 versions and each one gets longer and longer. Oh no, Sebastian, I definitely will. Yeah, I just it's like looking up deleted scenes, right? Like I've done that for a few movies after the fact. Yeah, it's just for the actual reaction itself, right? I'm gonna go for the movie that's the most easily accessible. So it can be exhausting, Zen, yeah, but at the same time, it's like it is what it is. It is what it is. People, as long as people are commenting, then it's fine. I'm leaning towards only deleting like the really, really bad comments or comments that just like, I don't know, are insulting, you know? Like I had to delete a comment this morning about me and Sam on our Lethal Weapon collab because it was pretty insulting for both of us, like towards both of us. And it's just like, I do not need you here. Hi, Brian. Good to see you. Too bad you can't find original theatrical versions of the Star Wars films. The original trilogy, yeah, it's like pretty difficult to find, I think. And then you have to like, I don't want to go through like illegal means either of like obtaining stuff. That doesn't sit right with me. So yeah. Oh yeah, Ghost or Master, which I'm gonna probably go back and forth between the two. Yeah, all my Andor reactions are full-length watch-alongs over on my Patreon. Maybe one day I'll edit them for the channel and put them up, but yeah, I watched Andor as the episodes were releasing, and I put those reactions over on Patreon. So yeah, amazing show. That was like, Andor was, I mean, I know I'm still a new Star Wars fan and I haven't watched everything yet, like I'm still making my way through everything, but Andor was literally exactly what I was wanting in Star Wars. Not to say that I was tired of Jedi and tired of lightsabers, but what I was really craving was focus on the everyday people. Some of those episodes in the Clone Wars are what I really liked the most. Like, I know a lot of people don't care for the Ahsoka arc of season 7, but I really liked it because it got to show us a little bit more of like civilian life. And so Andor was just amazing for me for that, and I loved it. And it felt very similar to a lot of TV shows that I've enjoyed in the past, like House of Cards and Mr. Robot. Like, just, I don't know. I just really loved the cinematics of it, and I loved the acting, and I loved the dialogue and the scripting and the story that went through Andor. Like, yeah. And I understand there's a lot of people that don't like it because it's not what they're used to in Star Wars, right? They prefer the heavy action with the lightsabers and that kind of stuff. And that's totally fine. But for me, it was such a different angle of the Star Wars universe that we just don't get much of. And so I really, really liked it. And I'm really excited for season 2. It's going to be awesome. Is that a Hampy Strange? Hello, friend. How are you? Good to see you. I thought the holiday special was the one that had everything you were asking for. No. Hey, Moon, good to see you. Hi, Trey. Good to see you. Jake, hello. I know we just hung out watching Gotham, but good to see you again, Jake. I hope your Saturday is well. Be nice if Disney made the original versions available. Yeah, but at the same time, I don't know if not that I think George Lucas even has authority to make that decision anymore, but I feel like there's a reason he changed them, right? So I don't know if he would be okay with Disney just putting them up for everyone to watch, but maybe one day. Andor and Rebels were 2 shows that I waited on because I didn't like their setup and trailers, but was very happy with at the end. Yeah. Rebels, I am very close to finishing season 2. I can't remember what episode I have next. I'm just gonna check my little library that helps me keep on track. Yeah, I've got episode 19 next, so I'm just about done. We've got 4 more episodes left of season 2, so I'm super stoked. Super, super stoked. So those reactions will be going up. I put out Rebels. I do 2 uploads of Rebels a week on Patreon. But what I'll probably do, because there's 4 episodes left, I'll probably try and get all 4 out this week, actually. Usually it's just 2 episodes a week, but the end of season 2, we've got a 2-parter. So I'll probably just end up doing all 4 this week. Hi, Shrub in the Pub. I love that username. That's amazing. Pepper just gave you a shush. I'm trying to sleep. Yeah, I haven't streamed in a while. I've been taking a streaming break on Twitch, but I think I'm ready to make my announcement of my changing on what I'm doing with gaming content. I've been taking a break from streaming game stuff since the end of January. I haven't gone live once on Twitch. The only streams I've been doing, I did the Empire Strikes Back watch along last month, and now today this. But I've got a plan. It's been really hard to make the jump to making the announcement of what I'm doing and what I'm changing. But for those of you that are, I did do a post on my community tab. But for those of you that are interested in following along with gaming videos, I have a gaming channel that is almost at 100 subscribers, so I'd love it if we could hit 100 today. If you're interested in, there's going to be videos, the occasional live stream, and there's going to be some shorts that I'll make from gaming content. But first thing I'm going to be doing is The Last of Us Part 1, because I have never played the game. I know the games, I've watched them many times, all of them, but I haven't actually played it for myself, and it releases on PC on Tuesday. So I'm going to be recording gameplay of it and uploading those videos in 30 to 45 minute chunks at a time. I'm super stoked. So thank you, Ghost. Thank you. Just enjoying the weekend. How are you? I'm doing good. Doing good. Always good to see you. Gotham was so fun. Yeah. Loved Andor, not just because it was Star Wars, but because it was new and let us take a step back and look over a busy man's shoulders for a change. Yeah, totally. Sebastian, that's what I hear. I've heard that it's really good, so I'm excited to see for myself. So this will be new, watching a live stream of a movie I first saw 43 years ago. Well, you're not seeing the movie. For those of you that might be new and don't know how this works, where am I here? This is what it will be like. So there is going to be an image covering the screen, of course. I will leave it out for a bit so that you can sync up for the first 20 seconds or so, but then it will be hidden because obviously I cannot redistribute a whole ass movie online for folks. So Rebels is only on Patreon. Yes. However, I will be making the same kind of review videos that I did for Clone Wars. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be waiting until Rebels is done completely, and then I'll be making those videos for the channel. So if you've watched my Clone Wars review videos, then you can expect the same for Rebels. But I'm doing it a bit differently this time. Like with the Clone Wars ones, I started doing them as I was still watching the show. This time around, I'm going to be waiting until I'm done the show fully, and then I'll make them for the channel. So yeah, the reason I mean, I've talked about this a few times, but the reason I watch certain TV shows like only on Patreon and I don't put them on the YouTube channel is just time is the biggest reason. I am a one-woman show and I prefer movies on my channel. My TV show reactions have never really done that well. The only one that did really well was Obi-Wan Kenobi. So it's just from a time and effort perspective, it's just easier for me to do it on Patreon, and then I can get through shows a lot faster as well. But the nice thing is like now I have all this footage, like I have all of these videos, so that if one day in the future, let's say I grow to a point where I can hire editors, which is a goal of mine, I would love to be able to, I would still edit probably, like still help, but I would love to be able to hire help. So if the day comes where I have maybe 1 or 2 editors working for me, I have no problem getting them to edit that footage and put them on the channel. So it's just for now, these shows are just on Patreon. So they are in the watch along format, but they do contain full reviews. And yeah, it's my most popular benefit on my Patreon. Like the majority of my patrons have signed up for that. So it is a good time. It's a good time. Obi-Wan was kind of a special thing. That was the first Star Wars thing that you got to experience. Exactly, yeah. And that's why, and because it was only 6 episodes, that's why I did it for the channel too, because it was my first TV show and I wanted to test how TV shows and movies together, like how the amount of work was for me. And that's why I did Tales of the Jedi on the channel as well, because it was only 6 episodes and those episodes were really short. They were like 15 minutes or less each. So yeah, and then The Last of Us was also another one I wanted to do for the channel, just because of my love of the story and the games. But yeah, for the most part, TV shows are not my priority for the YouTube channel, just because there's so many movies to watch and people love movies, and yeah, it's a lot of work to do both. So I'm not going to be doing TV shows that often on the channel, but select ones I will like to do. So yes, the backstory building of Endor, yeah, it was really, really good. Yeah, Mon Mothma's huge presence in the show was fantastic. I loved it. I was around for your KOTOR playthrough. It was nice. That was a while ago. Well, not that long ago, but it feels like a while ago. Hi Pim, good to see you. Love the previous 2 watch-alongs. Excited for this one. Me too. I'm super excited to watch Return of the Jedi again. Just to be clear, I have not rewatched it since the first time I watched it, which was over a year ago. I haven't even watched reactions to it. I've watched like parts of people's reactions, but that was months ago. Like I haven't watched any. Actually, no, I did rewatch, not rewatch. I watched someone's reaction to it. Maybe, I don't remember when they uploaded it, but it was a reactor who watched Star Wars for the first time in chronological order. So started with the prequels and then went into the original trilogy. I was very curious to see like what she thought of Return of the Jedi. It was a really, really good reaction, because the ending, especially of this movie, like just really hit her hard because she had watched it chronologically. So it was cool to see that. I myself am trapped under a sleeping rat terrier. Yeah, she's big chillin' today. If Tales of the Jedi gets a 2nd season, would you react? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I would, because I put the first one up on YouTube. So yeah, if they come out with more Tales of the Jedi episodes, I would definitely put them on the channel. Yeah. Yeah, because I put 2 videos out. I just combined. I did episodes 1 through 3 in one video, and then 4, 5, 6 in another, and that wasn't too bad. I enjoyed doing that. I know, Jake. I know. Also, but here's the thing, like me playing the first game next week is gonna like bring me right back into that world, and I'm excited. And then I'm worried that I'm all of a sudden gonna want a PlayStation, because I don't want to wait to play the 2nd game. But the thing is, I don't want a PlayStation. Like I truly don't. Hey, wow, good to see you. Empire at War, it's on Steam. I love it. It's a real-time strategy game. I'm not like a huge fan of real-time strategy stuff. Really depends on the game, but I'll check it out. I'll look it up on Steam. Thank you so much for the 11 Canadian dollars. I appreciate it. Shrub in the pub, thank you. Watch tons of your reactions. I just want to leave this little token to say thanks for all the fun times and cool insights. Well, thank you. Thank you for watching. I am glad that you enjoy. Thank you. Every day, multiple times a day, I log on and I look at comments on my channel. So I really appreciate all of you that leave them. And even if you don't leave a single comment, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you just hanging out and being here and enjoying what I do. I think I said this in a live stream a while back, but like when I was 19, I like wanted to be a YouTuber. Like that was like something that I thought would just be so cool. And that was like way back in the days before like YouTube even had like a partner program or anything like that. That was like back in like the OG YouTube days, like back in the day. I wanted to be back then like a beauty YouTuber. I was so into makeup back then because that was when I like wanted to be a makeup artist as a career, which didn't end up happening at all. Totally went in a different direction. But yeah, the 18, 19-year-old that's still inside me, now that I'm like doing this, she's like, oh my God, this is so awesome. So I keep her close and she cheers me on. The past me. I want a PS5, but my family nor I can afford one. They're pretty expensive. Yeah, the cost is honestly the main reason why I don't want one either. And also too, like at this point I have so many games on my PC, and playing on my PC is my preference. I like mouse and keyboard, and I have a controller if I want to use a controller for a game, and if it's controller compatible. But I don't know. I'm a PC gamer. I do have a Nintendo Switch. That's about the only console playing I do. And I like the Switch because I can play it handheld. I can play it while sitting on the couch, connected to the TV. I've got Ring Fit Adventure for it and Switch Sports. So it's like if I want to be active, I can just fire up those games, which is good fun. So I just like the variety with the Switch. But parents won't let me buy one. They say I'm 55 and should buy my own. Lethal Weapon was fun. I hope you do more collabs. Yeah, it was a good time. We'll be doing, so Lethal Weapon 2 is going to be going on Sam's channel sometime in April. She'll decide what day works best for her, but we're recording it next week. So we actually haven't watched the second one yet, but we're meeting up next week. I say meeting up digitally, of course, through Discord. We're meeting up next week, I think on Wednesday, to record that. So that's going to be fun. And then, yeah, she'll edit that one in her style, her way of editing, and put it on her channel. And then we have another series in mind. People have asked for Lethal Weapon 3 and 4 as well, so we might do like 3 on mine, 4 on hers, just kind of that back and forth, 1, 2, 3, 4. But we also have another series in mind that is a 1-2 that we want to do, where it's like one of them goes on my channel, the other one goes on hers. So we're not going to share what it is because we want to keep it a surprise. But we talked about that even long before we watched Lethal Weapon. We were trying to figure out what series we could do for the collab, because we really liked the idea. Some people do collabs where the same reaction goes on both channels, and we didn't like that idea because it's like, if it's the same reaction, people aren't gonna go to both channels, and that's what we want. We're like, we want to drive people. We want to drive her community to me and my community to her. So that's why we opted for a series where we could do like 1 on mine, 1 on hers. Just works better that way, I think. So yeah, we've got another. It actually was really easy to find 2 series that we had not seen before. So Lethal Weapon was one of them, and then, like I said, the other one we have in mind, I'm not going to share, but it's one that neither of us have seen. So yeah, I don't know how often we'll do them though, because I mean, she's got tons of movies and she's got her channel set up the way she sets it up. And same thing here. Like, I've got dedicated slots for stuff. I've got my MCU on Mondays, along with The Last of Us right now, which once The Last of Us is done, then Mondays will be exclusively MCU films. And then outside of that, it's like, I always like to have one movie a month be my choice. And then I like doing my Patreon polls, and I'm starting to incorporate YouTube in decisions more often. Which is lots of fun. So yeah, it's just like all about trying to fit in. It's all about trying to fit in this kind of stuff, right? So Replaying Jedi Fallen Order right now to get ready for the sequel coming out next month. This game is a blast. That's another one that I'm probably going to do for the YouTube channel. The Kale Plays one is Jedi Fallen Order. I'm excited to do it, so. Wanted to be a streamer YouTuber like 5 years ago. Didn't work out. I hope you can become big. I like your personality and how welcoming you are to new people and how you set up your channels. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. I will say that having so much Twitch experience definitely helped when I started doing this reaction stuff here on YouTube, because Twitch is definitely a good learning experience, I think. That's just how I feel anyway, so. But I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You could do original remakes, swapping the order around. You could do original/remake, swapping the order around. Oh, are you talking about like for the collabs? Like movies that came out back in the day and then were remade decades later? Is that what you mean? Like watch the original and then watch the remake of it? Not sure exactly what you mean, Steve, but that's how I'm interpreting that, but let me know if I'm wrong. Movies, okay, perfect. Yeah, that could be a good idea. There's other, now that I know how collabing works, and it's not overly difficult, at least for the way that Sam and I do our reactions kind of similar, actually. Like we both record with OBS. We both use the same microphone, which means that we have the same like audio setup kind of. So it was actually decently easy to get ourselves set up for actually watching and recording the movie. But not everybody does that, right? Because a lot of people record in their living room, right? Where they're on their couch, or like Cassie, she watches in her bed, right? So it's like, depending on how people have their things set up and how they record, like not everybody records through their PC like I do. So depending on who I'm collabing with, you know, there might be more involved in terms of like actually getting it set up and like how it, you know, works, I guess. So that's the other thing to keep in mind with collab reactions. But yeah, there's like a couple other people I have in mind for doing collabs with. And I'm not afraid to reach out. Like I was the one who reached out to Sam. We literally had never spoken. She made a tweet at the start of the year about how her 2023 goals, and one of them was to do a collab with another reactor. So I literally just like, I slid right into her DMs and I'm like, hey, I'm KL. I do reactions too. And I also want to do a collab with someone. Do you want to like get to know each other? And I told her, I'm like, I've been watching you for a while. I like your reactions. I like who you are. She had never heard of me. So we spent a bit of time like getting to know each other first and just like talking through DMs and just like talking about reactions and bitching about copyright and mean people in our comments and that kind of thing. We had like a little bonding session. And then once we kind of felt comfortable with each other, just like on a friendship basis, then we moved into actually like talking about the movies and figuring out when to do it and stuff. So yeah. After episode 3, I kind of had to reevaluate Star Wars in my life. Long journey, far from a hater, but I had to admit to myself that Star Wars is an elaborate toy commercial. Not dismissing it, it is very popular. Yeah, I think back then, I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I'm speaking as someone that's brand new to this franchise, right? I've only been into Star Wars stuff for like just over a year, and I'm still making my way through it. It doesn't feel that way to me. Like, I can see how it would feel that way to those of you that have been with the franchise since it started. But I don't know. I focus on the story, and I just enjoy myself from that. And like, you know, there's been Star Wars stuff that I haven't loved, but overall, like I'm a big fan of the storytelling and the characters and stuff. So my dad got me the Star Wars encyclopedia for Christmas. It's like this huge coffee table book, and I flipped through it. I knew that there would be spoilers in it though, so I had to like really be careful with what I was looking at. Like there's a section of the book where it goes over like the whole timeline, and I was just like, nope, I cannot look at that, because I know that there'll be spoilers about bigger stuff that I haven't seen from like Rebels or The Mandalorian, like that kind of stuff. So but there was a lot of pages on like the costumes and like the different species and like the different weapons, like all the different guns and stuff. So like I looked through all of that, and that was really interesting and fun. So I think there's more depth than a lot of people did give it credit for. I would be able to spend so much time obsessing over it. I wouldn't be able, I think you meant wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to spend so much time obsessing over it if it was just to sell toys. Yeah, sure. Merchandising genius, yes. In the 80s, every toy company made cartoons to sell them. In the 90s, made a law to separate corporate interests. Yeah. I mean, I understand it though. That's probably why, like, as we watch Return of the Jedi today, that's probably why Ewoks were like such a huge part of this movie. George Lucas is probably like, oh, look how cute they are. We can totally sell so many of these. But hey, that's all right. Okay, we are starting the movie a little bit later than I said we would because we've been chatting, but I've loved chatting with you all, so thank you for being here. Now is your time, if you don't already, to get the movie up on your end. So just as a reminder, I am watching on Disney Plus today. So if you are also watching on Disney Plus, then we should be good from the moment that we press play. And yeah, like I said, I'll leave the movie up for a little bit. There won't be any audio though, so you'll just have to sync up visually on your end, because YouTube literally will flag like 10 seconds of audio, and I don't want that. So yeah, I'll leave this up until the scrolling text starts, and then after that I will cover it with this image. And then you'll still be able to see the sides just a little bit, so you can kind of, for those of you that really know the movie well, you should be able to tell like what scene I'm in at any given time. Yeah, so that's how it'll work. Merchandising took over. 77, 78, 79 was an awesome Christmas. I bet. I obviously was not alive back then, but my dad was. My dad was a child back then. And yeah, he I think he saw Star Wars in the theater. Although he was never like a huge fan of Star Wars. Like, he watched the original trilogy, but I don't think he's watched any of the prequels. He's definitely has not watched any of the sequels, and he's not watched any of the TV shows. So he when I started doing all of this, he thought it was hilarious that I all of a sudden just became like this huge Star Wars fan. I'm just like, well, it's never too late. Speaking of my dad, for those of you that maybe don't see my community posts on my channel, which if you don't, you should, because I post there often, but I did a poll a while back, and by a while I mean like maybe 2 weeks ago. I don't remember exactly when it was, but my dad picked 4 movies for me to put in a poll for you all to vote on. They were all movies from his childhood from the 70s. And the winner was Smokey and the Bandit, and he's gonna come and sit with me, and we're gonna watch it together for the channel. So my first in-person guest will be my dad. So I've already told him, I'm like, you can't, I'm like, try not to be one of those people that's like nudging me all the time, being like, oh, make sure you watch this part coming up. Because I've told my dad, I'm like, when I'm watching movies for the channel, I'm always looking, like I'm always paying attention. For the most part anyway. Obviously I'll miss things here and there because that's just the nature of it, but I said if you keep nudging me, I'm gonna get really annoyed. So you guys have that to look forward to. Smokey and the Bandit will most likely be going out on the channel at the end of April, so that will be, I've kind of marked it for the 28th of April loosely. My dad doesn't know when he's coming to my house yet because we don't live that close to each other. He's about 2.5 hours away, so and he has like a Monday to Friday kind of job. So, but yeah, I'm really excited for that. It's going to be a good time. And then if people enjoy having someone with me to watch reactions and watch movies, then I know my brother actually wanted to join me for my first watch of Revenge of the Sith, but I didn't want that because I knew that my brother would be one of those people. And I was like, this is a movie that I have to watch by myself. So he was okay with that, but I know that he has always had interest in coming and watching something with me. But if we do that, I want it to be a movie that neither of us have seen before. And then my mom would probably be okay with also doing this because she's been on my Twitch stream twice before. So my Twitch community knows my mom very well. But for the YouTube channel, obviously you guys have not met my family. So I think that could be fun. Hi, Messy Studio, welcome in. Yeah, we are starting the movie a little bit later than planned, but that's okay. That is okay. Everyone thought it would be the most successful film of 1977 before Star Wars came out. Yeah. Was hoping for Close Encounters, but Smokey and the Bandit is great too. All movies were great. Yeah, Pim, don't worry. Close Encounters is one that I've marked for my channel eventually. Like, that's kind of one on my own personal list. So have no fear, it will probably show up at some point. I just can't guarantee when. It's always hard going into each month being like, what am I going to watch this month for the channel? So anyway, before this movie starts, because I do want to keep drinking this, but it's not the right temperature anymore, so I'm gonna fix that. And while I'm gone, there's Miss Ella for you. Ella is the YouTube star, yes, the true queen of the channel. For those of you that don't know, this is my dog. She is 13 and a half. Her name is Ella. I got her when she was 7. She is a English Staffordshire Terrier crossed with something. I don't know what. And she's from Palm Springs. I rescued her. All right, I am back. Juice. Same though. She is also the only reason why I do this. Hi, Karen. So much movie trivia on it after you've watched it. I have a feeling that my dad probably knows trivia about it. We'll see. I'll wait until we're done watching and then I'll ask him. All right, who is ready to watch this movie? Because I am. All right, let me make sure subtitles are on for myself. Yes. And we're going to turn the music off. And then it's taken over Star Trek. The only thing you don't like about it, why does that matter? Like, does Star Wars popularity affect your enjoyment of the other franchise? All right. Oh, movies there. Red 5 checking in. All right. As a heads up, I will not be reading chat during this movie because there have been lots of folks that have pulled up my stream after the fact to watch along with me. So in order to keep their experience good, I will not be reading chat during the stream. However, or during this movie. However, when the stream is over, I do go back and I read all your messages that you left during the movie. I do go and I skim. Sorry, I don't skim. I basically throw up the stream on like 2x speed. And then as the movie's playing at that speed, I read your comments that you left throughout the movie. So I would encourage you to, if I say something out loud, you can go ahead and respond to it. And I'll read it after the fact because I use the live chat replay. Talk amongst yourselves during this movie if you want. I like seeing you guys talk to one another too. So yeah, just want to make it clear that I do read your messages after. I just don't want to be responding to you in the moment because it takes away from me watching the movie. So hopefully that's okay. Hi, Jay. Good to see you. And okay, I think we're good. So I'm about to... All right, I'm going to pop out chat and minimize it. There we go. You guys are gone. Goodbye. We'll see you in a couple hours. Well, just over 2 hours. And yeah, I'll be chatting a little bit at the end of the movie as well. I'll keep streaming for a little bit and we'll hang out. Also say goodbye to Ella. She's got to go away. All right, with that, we'll do a countdown. I'll start from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I press play when I say play. And yeah, here we go. Timer will also show up when I press play as well. So, all right, Return of the Jedi. Let's heck and go. Counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, I messed that up. Hang on. I did not. Okay, we're gonna try that again. I'm so sorry. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. There we go. That was better. I pressed the timer before I pressed play. I would have been like a second off, and that's just too much for me. Long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. All right. I'm going to cover the movie in like 5 or 10 seconds. And goodbye. There we are. All right. Luke Skywalker has returned to his home planet of Tatooine in an attempt to rescue his friend Han Solo from the clutches of the vile gangster Jabba the Hutt. Little does Luke know that the Galactic Empire has secretly begun construction on a new armored space station, even more powerful than the first dreaded Death Star. When completed, this ultimate weapon will spell certain doom for the small band of rebels struggling to restore freedom to the galaxy. Ooh, I'm going to turn on... Actually, no, I'll be fine. Just pulling up chat quickly to make sure nobody has issues. All right, cool. Yes, Jake, thank you for the reminder about no spoilers. Yes, please do not spoil seasons 2, 3, 4 of Rebels. Do not spoil Mandalorian. Do not spoil the Book of Boba Fett. Those are what I have left. All right, I've hidden chat again. We'll catch you at the end of the movie. Enjoy the watch along. Oh, wrong button. I just wanted to like center that a bit more. There we go. I feel like when the Emperor shows up, that's when everyone's like, oh shit, all right. So I feel like he doesn't make appearances that much. R2 doesn't wait for you. R2 is leader, 3PO is follower. This guy still gives me the creeps. It's the eyes. The eyes are so pink. Bad feeling. I love how polite C-3PO is, just the way he speaks. It's the reason why he's my favorite. Well, one of my favorites. For those of you that haven't been to the other watch-alongs, or if you didn't watch them, I think I stated in both that Chopper is now my new favorite droid. I'm not even that far into Rebels yet. Well, yeah. After only a season and a half, Chopper has become my favorite, the top droid. Oh, that creature is very ugly. That's a Gonki droid. I don't know what the actual droid name is, but it's the same droid as Gonki. That thing in the corner is really scary. It's like a Halloween decoration. So mean. I can't remember if that singer is the same. Oh, what was her name from that one arc of Clone Wars? The Zero with Zero the Hutt. I think it is. I can't remember her name now. Whole setup is ridiculous. I feel so bad for her. I like how he didn't even translate that and Jabba understood. That was super cute of him to do. The little chin. was like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Please just take the 35, the money, please, and go. And back to dancing and fun. Hello, Lando. I won't lie. This is a very clever way for Leia and Lando to get in here. Welcome back on. That would be terrifying. To basically wake up and can't see. I love this scene so much. Oh. Yeah, you should. You can't convince him with words anymore, guy. Jabba's over it. I bet that breath is really stinky. Oh. I love their relationship. I forgot Luke did that to them. It's very dark sidey of him. I love that 3PO says me and not us. From a Star Wars timeline perspective, I forget how many years are in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, like in universe years. Luke, he just needed to be like 3 steps back. But he didn't know that. I still remember how cool it was seeing a Rancor in this movie because when I watched this for the first time, I was still playing the first Knights of the Old Republic game. And for those of you that have played it, you'll know that like there's a clever Rancor fight in the game. It's kind of like a puzzle, actually. I forgot about that. I love how a rock that size could do. I feel like a rock that size shouldn't have been able to hurt him. That whimper. They always have to add it. I still feel bad for this guy. He does such a good job at acting like so devastated as if his dog died. Oh. I still love that back and forth with Luke and Hunt. Same as always. That bad, huh? Yeah. I love that little threat from Luke. R2 in bartender mode. Still the best thing ever. All part of the master plan. I think one of my favorite things about rewatching these movies is just like the Clone Wars opened me up to so many new, well, different species. So like the guy on the left, I can't remember the species name, but he's like same species as Hondo, right? Hondo and the rest of the pirates. There's two of them. I love this part. Oh. This is a good moment. Yes, girl. Keelim. I hate that thing. Ugh. Ouch.
I love that we're on our way by Lando. Well, the plan worked well, I think. Good moment in the movie. Still really enjoy all that. It was good fun. Oh. Mm-hmm. Forgot these red. I don't know what the name is for them, but I forgot they were in this movie. I like only associate them with that. I don't even remember which sequel movie it was now. But that room, Snoke's room, with all of them in there. Correct. Oh, old man Yoda. Kinda. Kind. Can you imagine a life of 900 years though? I really love how Yoda like tucks himself in like this. You know, knowing that his time is here. He's like, I'm just gonna get comfy and cozy. honestly, I feel like Yoda would think that is super unexpected. I feel like nobody's ever ready for that, though. See, that is wise advice. Yep. Although, to be fair, Luke doesn't have, like, the long buildup of a relationship. Whoops. Let me not hit things on my desk. Managed to get that out just in time. Aw. Bye, Yoda. We love you. I don't know why, but his death is like one that I just don't think I'll ever feel sad about. Like, I love Yoda. He's such a great character. But I don't know. I think it's because his death is so peaceful and it's like on his terms, you know? And there's no like connections with Yoda from like a familial perspective or anything. I don't know. Obi-Wan, hello. Well, technically true. Well, most of it was destroyed. There's like a tiny little sliver about the size of a penny still in there somewhere of good. Yep. I still love that line because it's true. No, you weren't wrong. You trained him so well. That moment of realization. Rewatching this scene, and not just this one, but the Kenobi scenes in the other two movies as well. Like, especially coming off of the Clone Wars show and then like knowing the prequels and stuff, like just makes me have huge respect for Ewan McGregor so much, because he really did such a great job of like keeping Alec Guinness's Obi-Wan performance. I love Leia. She's like, wait, you? Oh. Yay. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Good luck. There's certain phrases that I'll always associate with certain movies, and like good luck is one of those for me that I always hear Liam Neeson in Taken, and I always will. So anytime anyone in any movie just says that, I think of Liam Neeson. Similar to how Star Wars for me is I've got a bad feeling about this. So if anyone says that in any other movie, think of Star Wars. Here we go again, indeed. I do like the way the new Death Star looks in this movie. I think it's the it's the version on my little clock back here. It's the shape of this version's Death Star. I forgot he uses a cane in this movie. He doesn't use a cane in the other ones, right? Ian is so good. And it always trips me up knowing that he was the youngest in this movie, of course, out of all of them. Just makes me appreciate the makeup job on him that much more. Mhm. Vader's like, my son is on that ship. Hmm. Luke's suspicious. But I feel like he knows by now that if he can sense Vader, then it works the other way around too. PO, you literally just got off the ship. Does anyone know where they filmed all of this? That's something that I haven't like looked up or anything. Let me know in the chat. I think my favorite Han Solo is this movie out of all of the three in the original trilogy. I don't know. I just love his vibe in this movie. These helmets that they're wearing look weird to me. I feel like the style of helmet do we must see it in something else, but I can't think right now. I feel like this movie might be the only. I would still love to ride one of these things. If I ever found myself in the Star Wars universe, I would find one of these immediately. But I would never go this fast through a forest. I don't trust myself that much. It's the same way with snowboarding through trees like this. I like riding through trees, but they have to be a little bit spaced out. I'm an okay snowboarder. I'm not an expert snowboarder. Plus, tree wells, one of my biggest fears is getting caught in one. So, yeah. Phew. Wonder how long that hike back would have taken. It is pretty here. Always the best choice for bonding is food sharing. I love Leia's hair in this movie. I think it's my favorite Leia style. Oh. I didn't even notice they were like holding hands I think the first time I watched this. It's adorable. I'm one of those that thinks that the Ewoks are cute. The way he asked that. He will come to me? What? Palpatine, as always, does call that out exactly as it will happen, though. But the only thing Palp doesn't ever realize is that he will be turned on. Ew. No, 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 no. Yeah. I don't know why I'm yelling no out loud when I know it's going to happen anyway. It's a natural response, I suppose. Like, oh, maybe this time when I watch the movie, things will turn out differently. R2 to the rescue as always. But then you're free, 3PO. That Ewok looks scary, though. This is one of those like silly Star Wars things that I will always love. Is their like praising and love of 3PO. I thought you said you were very fluent in 6 million forms of communication. There shouldn't be, I think, with any of this. I love I love Mark Hamill's face during that. God, treehouses like this would be so fun. Being carried like that, though, would not be fun. Yeah, I can't cook them. 3PO, you're not selling this very well. We got to convince them, and you're screaming your head off. Oh, anytime R2 topples over like that, my heart breaks a little. Aw. Good job, Luke. From a costume perspective, across these three films in the original trilogy, I love the way that Luke looks in this movie and what he wears. He like, I'm trying to leave. You keep adding things to this. How, Leia? I feel like it's just forced stuff, is what she feels and remembers. I feel like Leia just has, like, maybe the glimpse of her. Oh, wait, hang on. Never mind. It's that Padme within him. There's good in him. I know there is. No. She'll tell you soon enough. Sometimes you just gotta be there first, like that, and wait for. I think Leia just needs processing time with all of that information before she can talk comfortably about it, you know? Because that news would be pretty big, right? To find out at that age, especially. I can't remember. Is that his own lightsaber that he made, or is that still Anakin's that he was given? Oh, it is the new lightsaber. I forgot my question would be answered in the movie. Hmm. I love the acting for Vader because you can like. That's why body language is so awesome, and body language actors that are really talented with body language, especially, make scenes like that awesome. Perfect. Akbar's a heckin' legend. Love him. And also, Akbar's been through a lot too. The way that 3PO twists things, I can't. Okay, so I've read about the theory that bearded man in the back there with the white mustache and the beard. I've read about the theory that it's Rex. Just going by a different name. It's a fun theory. And honestly, at this point, with my love of Rex, I'll be a believer. I'll consider him Rex. I love them side by side. With Luke in the all black, they just look really good together. The Emperor's like, oh, fresh meat. I love that Vader keeps looking at him. Oh, he's so good. Mm, still love those two lines. So, so good. Just because you thought it was pointless, Anakin, doesn't mean he has to. Emperor Palpatine, one of my favorite villains of all time. He's so good. Ding, 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 ding. That's a trap. Vader's standing by, like, don't give in. I read somewhere one time, this would have been months and months ago, but I read someone say online somewhere that like how could a group of Ewoks take down supposedly the strongest the troopers have ever been? Because the Empire's been like building and building and building and building all the way up to this point. And then these Ewoks come in and are just like, "Beer, beer, beer, beer," and they just like take them all down. Anyway, I thought it was a funny observation. They have good intentions with that, but it's just not quite working out. He must. No, but he has to. He's the only one. I love Wedge. Soon, very soon. R2's always brave. Oh. I totally forgot about this part. Rest in peace. I appreciate that Vader just like stands back and doesn't say anything. He's just observing, just breathing. Wow. Vader just standing back aside from that, of course. That was like a throw for him to do that. Good aim. Also, is it just me or does this walker look really small? Like in Empire Strikes Back, they were massive. And then, I don't know, just here in this forest, the scale of it relative to everything else, it just feels much smaller. Unless there are different sizes of them. Maybe there are, but I love this part. I know. Pete, Khan, and Leia moment. No, it's okay. These are friends. the Ewok faces through the windows. Never noticed that before. Oh, here we go. Oh. Forgot that he did that. A little kick. Yeah, this outfit on Luke is my favorite. I love the design of the top. And the boots. I have the high ground. Now there's a little bit of conflict. I think you overestimate the power of the dark side. I'm so excited for this part. I think this was one of like my favorite moments in the when I watched it the first time. No. And you should know that, Mr. I tried to save Padme. Sister. The music is so good. How rude of the Emperor to just want to get rid of Vader like that. Mm. Ian's face acting is really good there. Like, shocked, but also not surprised, really. Like a good mix of those two feelings come across in that face to me. Let's go. Damn force lightning. Such a good moment. And the build up to it is just perfection. So good. But that did a number on him. Love of a child do be powerful, even if you never really knew them. I said this the first time I watched this movie, and I still maintain this, but to me, I feel like the Anakin within Vader recognized Padme and Luke and thought of Padme in that moment. Mm-hmm. That was very close. The visuals of them flying through all this, I love very much. God, I haven't watched this scene in a long time. I feel like that line should be, I want you to look at my eyes, or I want you to see me, the real me. Sup, Anakin? The little smile he makes. Yeah. Cherish that minute forever. I would. That's such a good moment, that moment. If Anakin hadn't turned to the dark side, and let's say it would have been like, I don't know, anyone else, doesn't even really matter who. Anakin and Luke side by side as Jedi would be so awesome. Yeah. Kaboom. Man, the rebels destroyed 2 Death Stars in like period of only a period of a few years, I think. It's pretty impressive. Yes. I love this scene so much. But also, can we just talk for a second about how respectful Han was, being like, "Oh, if you love him, that's fine. I respect that. I'll back off." But he doesn't have to do that. So it's good. Rest in peace, Anakin. Oh, I totally forgot about the fireworks. Did they come? Is this Cloud City? Did they come back here for this? Or Cloud City is just celebrating, rather? I guess everyone would be celebrating. Naboo! We saw free! I don't think I even heard that properly the first time. And this is Coruscant? To be honest, I completely forgot just how many locations they showed at the end of this movie. I know some people are going to hate me for this, but I have watched the scene with the original music. I prefer this music. I really do. Still love the trooper helmets as drums. Excellent. Good use of them. Ugh, this part. I'm not ready. Emotional. All right, let me bring chat back. You've heard both, and I also prefer this music. It's good. It's a good song. I'm just gonna look at the credits real quick. I love that Obi-Wan is in parentheses. It's like Ben Kenobi, also known as Obi-Wan. Oh man, for me being such an Anakin lover, I love the inclusion of Hayden Christensen at the end of that. Although I love how they didn't tell him. I've seen that interview with Hayden where he was just like, yeah, they didn't tell me they were doing that. All right. Gonna pause. All right, we'll get rid of these. I'm gonna bring the music back.
And there we go. And there we go. All right, so now that I have rewatched the original trilogy in full, did A New Hope in January, Empire last month, and now Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi is definitely my favorite. Definitely my favorite of the three. And for me, it's Anakin's Vader's redemption is the reason why. Like, it's such a good conclusion for all of that. And he has just such a good end. And I just love him and Luke together. I love their duel in this movie. I think it's great. I love the music that plays during it. Getting to just re-experience that again just now is awesome. And yeah, Return of the Jedi is my favorite of the OT. No question now. Now that it's been 2 viewings each. Yep. It's my fave. And then my second favorite, honestly, it's really hard to pick. It's really, really hard to pick my second favorite. I don't know that I can, because there are so many good things about Empire that I love. I love Luke and Vader meeting for the first time. I love just all of that. But the thing with A New Hope is it's so hard for me to put A New Hope by itself because of Rogue One. And I love Rogue One. It's my second favorite movie. So, but also with A New Hope, especially rewatching it in January, the thing with A New Hope that really stood out to me, and if you guys were there for it or if you watched it after the fact, you'll know this, but the Vader-Tarkin dynamic like really stood out to me in A New Hope, and I loved that. Because from Clone Wars, I loved the episodes with Anakin and Tarkin. And just getting to see like their beginning, basically. And yeah, so the Vader-Tarkin stuff in A New Hope was just so interesting to me. And so I love that movie for that. Not to mention it being a very good conclusion for the events of Rogue One, of course. But then Empire is just so good too. So it's just really hard to pick a favorite. So I'm gonna for now say that I like them both. I like them both equally. But Return for me is the clear number one of the original trilogy. So. Remember when my grandfather took me to see this? Oh, I saw it twice that year. Good times. Nice. Also, hello to everyone that came in during the middle of this watch along that wasn't here at the very, very start. Good to see you. Hi, Dennis. Good to see you. Qui-Gon wasn't in the WhatsApp group. That's why I didn't make it. Only just noticed Palpatine's statue toppling. Oh, I missed that too. I missed that. React to True Detective season 1 sometime? Maybe. I'm still working through a lot of TV shows at the moment, so I'm not adding any new shows to my plate anytime soon. But I'll consider that. I've heard really good things about that show, and I love me some good TV. Right now, I'm watching through Breaking Bad. I'm in season 3 of Breaking Bad right now, over on my Patreon, and then immediately after Breaking Bad, I'm going to be watching Better Call Saul. So. But once Better Call Saul is over, I won't have anything lined up, so we'll see. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I feel like I didn't talk that much during it. I find with rewatches, I'm finding with rewatches now that I've done the original trilogy, and then I rewatched Revenge of the Sith for my supercut. If you haven't seen that, definitely go check it out. It's on my channel. I supercut in my reaction of the Siege of Mandalore arc, my first time viewing that from back in September. I edited that reaction in with my second viewing of Revenge of the Sith and put out like a giant video, the longest on the channel. The reaction itself was like over an hour long, which I was pretty impressed at myself for getting down over 4 hours of footage to an hour. It was pretty good. Yeah, it's a fun video. I had a lot of fun making that. Yeah, happy to have you here, Dennis. Thank you. All right. Like I said, I'm going to be, once the stream is over, I'm going to pull up and read all your messages that you guys left during the movie. That's been my favorite part of this, is going back and reading everything you guys said during it. Oh, because I did ask some questions. I did ask a handful of questions during the rewatch, so go read your answers. What changed the most in this rewatch for you? I don't know with this movie if anything really changed for me, like compared compared to the first time that I watched it. I mean, to be fair, I'd have to go back to my own reaction of Return of the Jedi to rewatch it, because I have not watched my original reactions to the original trilogy. Like, there's certain things that I can remember that I said, but I haven't watched my reactions like the whole way through for a long time. So I'd almost have to go back just to like remind myself of what I thought during that first watch. But I think for me, just having all of the context of the Clone Wars, and then having rewatched the prequels, and having rewatched A New Hope and Empire, and then also having a little bit of Rebels in my head, the Kenobi show, Tales of the Jedi, and or like having all this in my brain, I think just for me, the thing that I wanted to pay attention to the most in this movie in particular was just Vader himself. The words he was saying, the body language especially that he was using. Because obviously the first time I watched this, I had no knowledge of the prequels or anything, right? Nothing about Clone Wars, like none of that was in my head, right? So that's where most of my focus was. And then I also had a lot of focus on Luke too. I just really wanted to pay attention to him. And I don't know if when Hayden was filming the prequels, I don't know if him and George ever had conversations about like the way that Luke acted in the original trilogy, and for Hayden to kind of like, similar to how Ewan watched the original trilogy for Alec Guinness, right? To kind of like act his mannerisms and his way of speaking a little bit. I don't know if Hayden kind of had that same approach with, I know he did with Vader. Like, I know that obviously he had a little bit of Vaderism in him in the prequels prior to his turn from Anakin to Vader. But I wonder also if he like watched Luke in this original trilogy, so that when he was still in Anakin form, just kind of like, you know, because obviously fathers and sons are, even if you're not raised by your father, like just through DNA and genetics, I feel like there's still some similarities in there anyway. Kind of similar to how you see that in twins that are separated at birth, like that reconnect years later. It's like they do have similarities to them that I think is like just through that kind of thing. So yeah, that was my focus this time around. I just really wanted to pay attention to Vader and Luke. Just to watch, just to experience that. But yeah, I think for me, I was most excited for this watch along to rewatch this movie because I had a feeling going into it that this one would be my favorite of the original trilogy. And I was correct. So yeah, this movie is just a ball of fun. I love it. I really don't have any criticisms about this one. I know a lot of people aren't fans of the Ewoks, and I understand. If any of you are here that feel that way, like, I get it. I won't knock you for it. Personally, for me, I enjoy them. I think it's a fun part of the movie. But like I said during the reaction, reading that one comment by that guy that was like, it's so funny how a group of Ewoks can take down this entire Empire crew of troopers that theoretically should be the best that they've been up to this point, you know? So that part's kind of funny. But well, it's not just the Ewoks. We did have Han's group of I don't know what you call them. I'm just gonna say army, I guess. But thanks, Ghost. Thanks for joining for the watch along. I appreciate that. Thank you. True Detective Season 1 is objectively the most compelling single season of TV. The quality per episode is breathtaking. Yeah, I've seen I've seen like bits and pieces, and when I mean bits and pieces, I truly mean like just tiny bits and pieces of True Detective. Feels very like much like a movie, but a lot of TV shows are like that now, to be fair. But yeah, no, I really like Matthew McConaughey and I love Woody Harrelson, so just knowing that those two together are in True Detective, like that alone makes me want to watch it eventually one day. So the Ewoks worshiping 3PO is one of my favorite things ever. Yeah, it's funny. It's good times. Yeah, and the Rex theory. Yeah. I can't remember where I saw that. I think I was looking up like a Clone Wars tribute video of Rex, because I've watched a few Clone Wars tribute videos that people have made on YouTube. There's some really talented editors out there that have made like awesome Clone Wars videos. So I've watched a few of them now that I finished the show, right? And their little tribute edits, like they don't spoil any other show. It's like just Clone Wars exclusive. And I think it was in a comment on one of those videos that someone had mentioned the whole theory about Rex being in Return of the Jedi, which then to me, I was like, wait, what? And so I went to Google to be like, what is this? And then I read a little bit about it. So like I said, I do like that theory. I think that's fun because it makes sense for his character. I feel like Rex would totally be part of this. So yeah, it's a fun one. I like that Luke is in all black the entire movie right up to the end when the front flap comes loose and shows some light. Yeah, it's good. I love when there's symbolism like that in anything, like any TV show, movie, whatever. Kind of similar to how in Revenge of the Sith, the last time that Obi-Wan and Anakin speak before he becomes, or sorry, not the last time that they speak. It's one of the last times that they speak. Anakin's in the shadows and Obi-Wan is out in the sunshine. And that is like good, you know, light versus dark. Just visuals, I guess. Yeah, it's good. Love when that happens. I will admit though that it's like, I sometimes have trouble as a viewer just like picking up on stuff like that. It's one of those things that I either recognize after the fact, like down the road, or I like read something that someone else has said and they point it out, and then it's like, oh yeah, that's really cool. So depends on what I'm watching though. It depends how much focus there is on it, I guess. But yeah. Also, Jake, thank you for linking that. I appreciate it. Yoshi, thank you. Thank you so much. Full reactions are fun. I don't have time to watch a ton of watch-alongs just because I do my own, like, I spend so much of my time doing stuff for my own channel and Patreon, right? So I don't always have time to do watch-alongs. But for Popcorn in Bed, I did watch along to the entire Last of Us, her full-length watch-alongs for that, because I just felt it was such a good opportunity to rewatch the show again. So yeah, I did that with her. I watched a few of her watch-alongs, and yeah, it's a good time. I always do the watch-alongs with Firefox picture-in-picture mode, usually on my laptop, and then that way it's all on one screen, and I can like have freedom over, like I put my copy over the blurred version, and then I can like resize it to however I want. That's actually one of the reasons why I sit on this side. It's not just for the full-length watch-alongs, but then for editing my reactions too, because I've got all this space, right? So I have plenty of space for the movie to go, and then for you guys, if any of you watch picture-in-picture too, then you can make your copy of the movie like massive on my screen. Like you could literally bring the border like right here, and then you've got all this space for your movie, right? So it's part of the reason why I kind of have my camera where it is, because I've thought in the past about moving my camera to be more like front on to my face. But then I think, yeah, I don't know. I factor that in, like the editing stuff and like where I'm going to place it for the YouTube video. So I think the way that I kind of have my desk set up, it works. I don't plan on changing it anytime soon. Although when my dad comes to watch Smokey and the Bandit with me, I may change where my camera is, and I might have it more front on so that my dad and I, because he'll be sitting right here, and I'll probably be moved over like possibly here. So I don't know that the side angle is necessarily going to work for us. I might have to move my camera to be front on, so then it'll be my dad and I with the movie like in the center below us. I haven't quite figured that out yet. I'll probably have to wait until my dad gets here so that like he can get comfortable and know like where he wants to sit, and then I can do the camera figuring out filming part of it after. So got the 40-inch TV for the movie. Yeah. For those of you with big TVs, and if you have physical copies of the movies, obviously it makes sense that they would be separated. I have a TV, but I only have a Chromecast. Like I don't have any device for playing anything. That's a lie. I do still have a VCR, a working VCR. I don't use it that often because I don't own that many VHS tapes, and the movies that I do own on VHS, they're not ones that I really care to rewatch a whole lot. So yeah, I pretty much only use my TV for Chromecast, but my TV's not that big. So yeah, for me, it's just easier to watch on my computer and do picture-in-picture mode. But I do know some people are like me because I've got 3 monitors. I've got a vertical one right here, and then I've got my main monitor in front of me that I watch everything on, and then I've got a monitor over here that is always connected to my gaming PC. And then these 2 monitors are connected to my personal PC, which is where I do all my recording from. And yeah, so sometimes what I've done in the past, I tried it once just to see, but I put like I split it and I put like the movie on one and then the reactor on the other, but it's just too much back and forth like this. So for me to have it all on one screen is just my preference. But I was playing Jedi Fallen Order for most of the movie. It was really, really cool when some action crossed over, like fighting people with blasters and Luke fighting them off. Awesome. That's very fun. Cool. I've always thought it would be cool if they made an animated series similar to the Clone Wars between episodes 5 and 6, but I think the comics have mostly covered that period now. Gotcha. I do want to eventually, like, I'm still focused on the TV shows right now, but I do want to eventually dive into books. I want to dive into some comics a little bit too. I do have I've got 2 books that I need to read. One of them isn't like, it's not a story. It's Anthony Daniels' book about like being 3PO that I want to read. But then I also have the Ahsoka novel, which I haven't read yet. It is behind me on my shelf, but I think that one might be the first book that I read. And then I really want to get the Thrawn Ascendancy. I think that's what it's called, the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy. Yeah, Thrawn Ascendancy. There's three novels, canon novels. A friend of mine who's been obsessed with Star Wars her whole life, she's the one that recommended this trilogy to me. I reached out to her one day, just knowing that she's like my IRL Star Wars expert. And it's funny because we're not like close friends anymore, but we were close friends in high school. We were best friends. And so being able to kind of reconnect with her through Star Wars has been a lot of fun. So yeah, I reached out to her one day and was just like, hey, I'm considering getting into books. I already have the Ahsoka novel. What else would you recommend? And she immediately was just like, you got to read the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy. So that'll be next on my list. Yeah, Sebastian, I have information on that, and I definitely am going to be diving into those as well. Especially since they were supposed to be Clone Wars arcs or something, I think. Yeah, so definitely I need to get answers and closure on some things. So I'll definitely be diving into that for sure. I think there are 2 canon Thrawn trilogy. Oh, so 6 books. Nice. That's even better. I have so many series that I need to read, you guys. I'm just about done the A Court of Thorns and Roses trilogy series. I've mentioned this so many times before, but my reading comes in waves. I'll read every single day for like 2 or 3 months, and then I will not touch a book for like over a year. And I hate that about myself, and I've tried to fix it, but I don't know. My reading comes in waves. So anyway, I'm just waiting. I'm gonna try to get myself back into a reading wave, I guess. I'm almost done watching Narcos. Narcos is a TV show that I just started watching recently on my own time, not for reaction content at all, because it's important to have certain movies and TV shows. I think it's important when you're doing this kind of content to like have some for yourself, right? So I started watching Narcos, absolutely love it. I'm like 2 or 3 episodes into season 3. Seasons 1 and 2 are phenomenal. I literally started watching it for Pedro Pascal because I am one of those that is like currently super, what's the word? Like, just super admired by him, and I admire him so much. And so with that, I want to like slowly get through all my Pedro stuff, Pedro movies, Pedro shows. I want to watch everything. I figured Narcos would be a good thing to jump into because I'm watching Breaking Bad right now. So it's like, well, why not add another drug show to my list of shows that I'm currently watching? So I did not expect Narcos to be as good as it is. I'm really, really enjoying it. And I expected Pedro to be my favorite part of Narcos, but no, he's not. Wagner Moura is incredible as Pablo Escobar. Like, he does such a phenomenal job in that show. I'm blown away. So anyway, I think once I'm done watching Narcos, then I'm gonna move on to reading. Because lately Narcos has been like my nighttime thing, like right before bed. I just like watch an episode or 2. So I think as soon as I'm done Narcos, I need to get back into reading. I need to finish the ACOTAR series finally and get that done. And then I need to finish the Expanse series. I've read the first book and like part of the second, but I really, really want to finish the Expanse series because that is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. It will always be at the top for me. And so the first book was phenomenal. Second book's good so far. I'm gonna have to restart the second book from the beginning though, because I already forget everything that I've read. It was a long time ago. So
If any of you are here that have not seen The Expanse, oh my gosh, this is the strongest recommend ever from me. You have to watch it. It's so good. Jake, yes, you do. I haven't yet. I haven't seen the movie with Nick Cage, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, I think it's called. That is one that I really want to watch. I think that one will probably eventually be like a Kale's choice for the channel. Like 1 month this year, I'll like pick, because what I'm trying to do every single month on the channel is have like one reaction be like my choice, right? Just something that I've always wanted to watch. I'll just pick it myself and get it out on the channel. And that's a movie that I've like earmarked for that. Just 1 month I'll be like, yep, this movie is going to go in. We're going to react to it. So yeah, I do want to watch it though. Plagueis novel 2. Yes, that one's also on my list. I don't read things, just not for me. That's okay, Yoshi. My dad is not a reader either. My brother doesn't read. The only thing my brother will read is like coffee table books. Like he's got his giant Marvel Cinematic Universe. Actually, I don't even think it's necessarily cinematic. I think it's like just, he basically has like a huge Marvel encyclopedia. He loves it. He'll read books like that. He'll read like the Guinness World Record books, like coffee table books, right? Books that you can mostly just like, they're mostly photo books, but then you can just like read little bits and pieces at a time. It's not like a novel. It's not like a story. That's his kind of reading. But I've always been a reader. Although I did a lot more reading as a child than I do now. But my mom taught me how to read when I was 2, which I know sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Like my mom, bless her, she taught me the letters and the numbers. Like I could literally read before I could walk, and before I could go like to the bathroom properly without diapers, basically. Like I picked up on it really fast. So yeah, by the time I entered kindergarten, I could full on read children's books. When I entered grade 1, my spelling tests were ridiculous because I had already known like the typical spelling test that they use for first grade. Like, I was well beyond that at that point. And then when the Harry Potter books first came out, when the first Harry Potter book released, I think I was like, how old was I? I don't even remember now, but I like immediately could dive into it without an issue. So yeah, I kind of miss how much I used to read. You had more time as a kid for that kind of stuff, right? The video games taught me how to read. I have the Expanse books and I want to read them before I watch the show. I mean, this is just my preference, but personally, I'm really glad that I watched the show before I read the books, because the books for me, the way that it felt watching The Expanse and then reading the books felt like an expansion of The Expanse. Poor word choice, but not a poor word choice. But do you know what I mean? Like, and for me, I'm a very visual reader. So what I mean by that is, as I'm reading a novel, I will literally create the scenes in my brain, and as I'm reading the words on the page, I'm also like watching the movie of it, if that makes sense. So anytime I watch the source material of a book, so if it's been transferred to a TV series or a movie or what have you, like anytime I've watched it first and then I go back to the books, it's a lot less energy on me, because now I don't have to try and create the scenes in my head. I can literally just visualize the TV show or the film, right, as I'm reading. So because of that, going from watching the Expanse show to then reading the books, it was just it's been such a wonderful experience for me, because I pictured the actors in my brain, and it's just the book goes into a lot more detail, of course, than the show does. So it's a really enjoyable experience. But if you're not a reader like that, then you won't have the same experience with that. But have you read or seen anything from the Dune franchise? No, but people have suggested Dune to me for reaction content. Yeah, it's something that I'm not opposed to getting into. I just haven't had the desire to jump into it, I guess, is really the best way of explaining it. There's only so much time in the day, right? So there's so much entertainment out there now. Like, we literally have no shortage of it in this world. And so much of what I do is strictly just like Western media as well, like Western music, Western books, Western movies and film and TV, right? And I don't do foreign films yet. It's something that I want to try and get into at some point. Because I know there's just so much good foreign movies
out there. My problem is just reacting to foreign stuff, because even when I was watching Narcos, like Narcos has a pretty heavy like Spanish, right? Colombian Spanish. A lot of the show is in Spanish, and even just watching it on my own time, like, you know, in order to make sure that I'm like keeping up with what's going on, right? I really have to read these subtitles. And so I just worry that like, because I'm watching it for the first time and I don't know what's coming, I worry that I'm gonna like talk over something really important that obviously is in another language, so I can't digest it while I'm speaking. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, from a reaction perspective, I have a little bit of like, I'm not like fully ready to jump into foreign films just for that reason, right? So, but one day I'm not gonna say never. The only thing I say never to is anime, because yeah, friends of mine this past week have been hit really hard by Viz Media. They've been taking down Patreon content. They've been taking down people's merch stores. They've been taking down people's YouTube videos and YouTube community posts. Like Viz Media has been really going ham on people this past week, and I've had friends affected. And yeah, so anime was already something I kind of early on decided that I would never touch for reaction content. And now after like seeing what my friends are going through this past week, yeah, that's sealed the freaking deal for me. And when I say they're taking down Patreon content, like they're taking down timer reactions. Like these reactors don't even have the blurred episode in their video. It's literally just them and the timer, and Viz Media is still coming through simply because they're watching, what is it, Naruto, I think is what they're kind of coming down on lately. Anyway, it is very risky, and it's a headache enough when like Paramount or Warner Brothers comes and slaps one of my videos, right? Like this past week, both Ant-Man and Lethal Weapon, I was given a lot of copyright issues from Disney and Warner Brothers on, which was really random all of a sudden. Like I haven't dealt with that much copyright issues in a long time. With the way that I edit, I'm pretty good at getting things cleared, and I don't really deal with a ton of issues, but this past week was rough. Like was it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday I spent literally the entire day fighting copyright on Ant-Man, and it was exhausting. And then with Lethal Weapon, I stayed up until 5 a.m. on Thursday night into Friday morning to make sure that I could get it cleared for Friday, because I delayed Ant-Man by 2 days and I did not want to do the same for Lethal Weapon. So I was like determined. I'm like, I'll stay up as long as it takes. I just need to get this clear. And so yeah, I was up all night dealing with that. And it's just like, if I had to do that with anime stuff, like, yeah, no, thank you. No, thank you. So yeah, I'm sad about that, since Death Note is my second favorite show, and I'd love to see more reactions to it. But your reasoning is completely fair. Yeah, it's just not worth the risk. And I think Death Note is underneath Viz Media too. Like you've got Viz Media and Studio Ghibli or Ghibli? I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, those two seem to be the worst. And unfortunately, they oversee so many different shows and stuff. So yeah, it's maybe one day on my own time. Pretty much the only anime that I have ever really watched is Pokemon. And I still am a big Pokemon fan today. I have two games on my phone, Pokemon stuff, and then I own Pokemon Arceus for my Switch. Although to be fair, I've barely played that one. I prefer the mobile games for some reason. I really enjoy the ones that I play. I mean, Pokemon Go, of course, and then Pokemon Masters EX. I love that game. It's so much fun. So that's my anime fill. It's through gaming. Hidden Fortress is a good foreign film that was inspirational for Star Wars. Nice. I'll have to I mean, the suggestion form has been going into chat periodically, so literally save that form if you want, like save the link, submit suggestions at any point in time. I definitely consult that often. I consulted it for the poll that I made on Patreon. Based on the two polls that I did on YouTube, I did a genre poll and I did a decade poll. And I want to do more of this where I have YouTube and Patreon together helping decide. So for YouTube, I did the decades poll and the genre poll, and the winner was 90s and adventure. So then I took that and I went to Google, but I also pulled up my suggestion form to see, hey, who has suggested 90s adventure movies? And so using a combination of the two, then that's how I drilled down to Hook, The Mask of Zorro, and The Mummy for the three options that Patreon folks are currently voting on right now. So personally feel like that's a very difficult pull because all three of those movies I've heard so many things about, just people loving them over the years, and just has never been movies that I've watched myself, but I've always wanted to. So yeah, I'm excited. I feel like all three of those will eventually be watched. It's more or less just picking what's going to happen now or what's going to happen in April. So yeah. Anyway, so for those of you that are on Patreon, I hope you've cast your vote. I'm sure you have. And yeah, I think that one, the winner of that movie is going to go out on the channel on, let me just check my calendar here. That one will go on the channel on April 14th. So that poll is up until the end of the month, Friday the 31st. And then next Saturday, I will post the April schedule for you all. Because I've got every single day accounted for except for that one day, which is what that poll is deciding. So yeah, April's going to be a good month. I'm excited for it. Not a big anime guy, but even if you don't react to it, I highly suggest you watch Yamato 2199 on your own time. It's like if Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica had a Japanese baby. Nice. Did I say that right? Yamato? Yeah, I think Yamato. Cool. Alrighty. Well, I just want to say thank you so much again, everyone. Thank you for being here. And thank you for watching along with me to Return of the Jedi. That was super fun. So now that the original trilogy has been watched, I've rewatched the original trilogy. I've rewatched the prequels. I've already seen Rogue One more than once now at this point too. Solo, I'm going to rewatch on my own time. And then the sequels, I don't know that I want to do these live watch-alongs for the sequels necessarily. I think those I'll just keep on my own time. But what I would like to do every once in a while is I would like to do streams like this for movies that I have seen prior to even doing reaction content. You know, just as a way for us to like get together and watch a movie together live like this. I would love to do an Interstellar stream one day where we sit and watch that movie because that's my #1 movie of all time. Probably always will be at this point. I just adore that movie so much. And I feel like there's so many movies that I haven't seen in a long time. Like yesterday, me and some of my patrons watched Con Air, and I hadn't seen that in like 3 years, and I really wanted to rewatch it just because I've been watching a lot of like 80s, 90s action movies lately on the channel. So I really wanted to revisit that one. It was so much fun yesterday watching that. So there's other movies like that I would just like to revisit. And if you guys like these live watch-alongs, then I have no problem. I have no problem scheduling these kind of streams and doing this. I wouldn't want to do a brand new movie to me in this format though, just because, yeah, I don't know. I just, for that kind of stuff, I just prefer to be able to record it, and do it in that way. But for stuff that I have seen before, I have no problem, doing these kind of live watch-alongs. So generally in Japanese, the stress is put on the second to last syllable. Yamato? Sorry. Next is Spaceballs. Yes. Okay, so coming up this week, The Last of Us Episode 6 reaction is going out on Monday, and then Spaceballs will be on Friday. I'm very excited for Spaceballs. I haven't watched it yet because I knew that this stream was happening today, and I wanted to make sure that all of the original trilogy was watched before I jump into Spaceballs, because I don't, and don't spoil this for me, like don't actually answer this question or my thought that I'm wondering, but I don't know what Spaceballs is based off of, like if they kind of combine everything about each movie in the original trilogy, or if it's just kind of like parodying like one of the 3 movies, or maybe 2 of the 3, like I don't know. And don't say in the chat right now. But I just wanted to make sure that I had all 3 of these rewatched before going into Spaceballs. So I'm really tired today, so I don't think I'm going to watch Spaceballs tonight, but I'll probably record it tomorrow. And then I'll edit it throughout the week and get it out on Friday for you all. So I'm very excited to watch it because I think it's just going to be hilarious. And also, I'm really excited to watch people's reactions to Spaceballs because I've had a few friends lately put out reactions to it. So I really want to watch Sofa and Chill. I don't know if they've put it out yet or if it's still on Patreon, but they have a reaction to Spaceballs that's like really new. And then OGB also just rewatched Spaceballs recently. So I definitely want to check out both of theirs. So, but not Interstellar. I hate that movie. Oh, Juice, you're not the only one.
You're not the only one. That's a movie. So recently I made my dad watch it. I've wanted my dad to watch that movie for so many years now, like literally ever since it came out, because I saw it in theaters. And I've always wanted him to watch it, but he never has. And then finally I made him watch it with me on Christmas Day. And he didn't. I think the movie was too long for him. And I think it was also too, like, maybe a little bit too complex. Anyway, he definitely did not have the same feelings about it that I did. He's happy he watched it, but he definitely did not come away from it like loving it. And here I assumed that he would be sucked into the father-daughter story of it. And that's like the reason I wanted him to watch it, because my dad and I are really close. We have a close relationship. So, but no, he wasn't. He definitely did not come out of that like a super fan like me, which is fine. He's allowed. That movie was 40 minutes, way too long. See, I love the length of it personally, but that's just me. Which is why, like, anytime I get a comment on my channel, and people comment this a lot, they generalize based on, like, I don't know. They're like, oh, young people today have no patience. Like, everything has to be action, boom, 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 boom. Like everything has to be fast and la la la. Otherwise, like, you get bored or you don't pay attention. And it's just like, no, like anytime that I've ever complained, I think if a criticism of mine has ever been about the pacing and about it feeling too slow, I get comments like that, right? Where people just make a general assumption about me. And it's just like, listen, there are a lot of slow paced films that I enjoy, and Interstellar is one of them. Like, Interstellar, a lot of people think is too long. I don't. I think the length is perfect. And, you know, so it's my number one movie. So I don't know. I just find that funny. It's like whatever, dude. Thank you, Zin. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Need to be in a mood for that kind of thing. Yeah, I will agree that is a movie that you do need to be in the mood for sure. I still haven't seen Interstellar yet. I might watch it first along with your stream, though that might be too distracting. Maybe. I don't know. I guess it might depend on just how I react to it. I'm not sure. I would recommend watching it on your own time, though. I have nothing but good things to say about that movie. I mean, it's my number one. Like, I love it so much. Don't even get me started on the people in your Pulp Fiction comments. Well, to be fair, that was about a whole different. Well, no, I did mention, yeah. I don't know. The funny thing about Pulp Fiction was, like, everyone focused. Well, I got a lot of insults because of what I had said in my intro, which kind of surprised me because most viewers skip my intro. Like, the majority of viewers don't watch it, right? So the people that did watch it and had a problem with it, they let me know in the comments for sure. And then the way that I split my review of Pulp Fiction, like I listed out my dislikes first, I think, and then I followed it up with my likes. I maybe should have done it the other way around. Because not everybody watches the reviews either. I actually lose most of my viewership as soon as the review starts, which that's every channel experiences that. Every channel will say the same thing. Like most people are there just for the reaction. They don't care to hear your blah 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 at the end. But yeah, for Pulp Fiction, because I dove into my criticism first, I think that people just assumed that I didn't like anything about Pulp Fiction. It's like, no, I did, and I understand why it's so loved, generally speaking, but it just wasn't overall for me. It wasn't my thing. And that's fine. I'll always be honest on my channel, and I know that people appreciate that. That I'll always be honest about the movies that I'm watching and what I feel. But one thing that I will say though, and I can't stress this enough, is like I go into movies hoping that I come out of it loving it, right? Like I never want to go into a movie and assume that I'm gonna hate it, right? Like, what fun would that be? That makes movie watching not like you're setting yourself up to not like it if you go into it expecting like to hate it, I guess. I always want to have a good time with the movies that I watch. And the other thing too is like I can also enjoy a movie and have a good time during it, but then walk away from it at the end being like, that was okay, right? I think there's a difference between, because like when you're watching a movie in the moment, like a lot of reactions where you're smiling or laughing or you're like enjoying yourself sometimes are just about that scene in particular. But then when the movie's over and the credits are rolling and now you've got the whole thing in your brain and you're actually thinking back to the very beginning and you're considering it with all of its context, right? That's how you can then come away from a movie being like, oh, that was all right. Like I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it, right? So, because I've had a lot of people leave comments in the past on some reactions where I look like I'm enjoying myself through the whole reaction, right? But then at the end of the movie, I'll be like, oh, that was all right. It was mid. And then people are confused by that. And it's just like, well, I don't know. Maybe one day I need to explain it like that. Maybe people will understand. But I try and explain as best I can where I'm coming from. Is it Emily? I've heard of, that's a, is that a French movie? Like a French foreign film, right? Whoa. I think, you know what? I have the internet literally right in front of me. Why don't I just look it up? Oh, romance comedy. Yeah, French, hey? Yeah, language French, okay. Countries French, Germany, language French, all right. I'm not reading anything, I just wanted to look up the language. Parts can be good, doesn't mean it works together, exactly. I like to hear the reactors' end thoughts. It's the only part I watch in your edited reactions. Well, thank you for skipping ahead and watching it. I appreciate it. Yeah, for my Patreon watch-alongs, my thoughts at the end are kind of just like immediately off the cuff, like what do I think? And I don't go into super big details about it. Because for my edited reactions, I like to script my thoughts. I like to pull up a notepad and I like to just write everything down, and then I kind of arrange my thoughts as best I can so that it kind of goes into a flow. Because personally for me, when I'm watching someone's review of something as a viewer, I like when it kind of has a little bit of a flow to it, and you know, and for me, and I recognize this in myself, but when I'm speaking immediately from my brain, I do a lot of like long pauses, ums and uhs and stuff. And so for my edited versions that go on the channel, I want to be a touch more professional about it, which is why I write things down. I have notes on my screen in front of me and I refer to that. And then I'm able to get things out. It's not like 100% scripted. They're just loose notes, but it keeps me on track, and it doesn't leave me sitting here being like, oh, what do I want to say next? You know, so that's why I do it that way. I don't know if y'all can see her. She's been snoozing away this whole time. My light over here doesn't work anymore for some reason. I have no idea why. I need to probably get a new one. That's why she's in the dark right now, but anyway, all right. Stream has been almost 3 hours and 40 minutes. I think I will call it here. It is almost 5 o'clock my time. I have some editing to do tonight, and I'm probably only going to edit for maybe an hour and a half or so, and then I want to just have a chill night. I want to finish some more of Narcos. I want to maybe play a video game for a bit. And ultimately, I think I want to go to bed early tonight because I'm really tired. I feel like I could pass out right now, so... Anyway, so thank you guys for being here so much. I really appreciate it. It's always good to see you, and now that I've been doing this for over a year, I recognize a lot of your names now when you appear in my live premieres and my comment sections and my chats and stuff, so it's really good to kind of get to know you all through doing this kind of stuff, and yeah, I appreciate it a lot, so thank you. Oh, thanks, Sebastian. I really love my Clone Wars reviews, and my favorite of them... My favorite was season 5. I love that video. And then the supercut with Siege of Mandalore and Revenge of the Sith. That video is my favorite video that I've done on the channel, like, period. And it might be always my favorite video that I've done. It was a lot of work, but it was really rewarding. So I'm happy that I think it's around like 12. I think it's around like 12,000 views or something right now. I'm pleased with that. I'm happy with that. What is it sitting at right now? Oh, it's at 13K now. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's good. So, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Blade Runner. You know what? Well, I've watched the original Blade Runner, and I'm so sorry, but I didn't care for it. And I kind of want to revisit it, though, because I watched it in Discord with some friends, and I don't know that I, like, fully paid attention to it, because, like, we were all talking with each other and stuff. So I think I might revisit Blade Runner on my own time. But I do remember not really loving it. So maybe I should just give it another shot. And I haven't watched the other one, the one after it, the second Blade Runner. I think that one has Ryan Gosling in it, right? I haven't seen that one. I should watch both. I should give both a try. Thank you guys. Thank you. All right.
It's always awkward ending these streams, but I'm just going to go ahead and end it. So thank you again so much for being here, and stay tuned for an announcement for another live stream. I don't know when I'll do one. I don't think one will happen in April, just because there are a few days in April that I'm going to be out of town. 27, 28, 29, 30, I'm not going to be here. So yeah, maybe May. Maybe we'll do May. So anyway, thank you, and have a good rest of your weekend. And we'll see you soon. Thanks so much. Take care, everyone.